I think we were pretty lucky to get the win, but we had to do some things right. The Bulldogs were extremely energetic, to start the game, and to their credit, they continued for most of the game. So we knew they'd complete well, and as I said earlier in the week, they're a really skillful side, so they obviously do a lot of work, on their skills, but their basic skills and their shapes, and they're always throwing at you. And I thought, they did that again tonight. Add a little bit of offload in there as well, and it always keeps you on your toes, your defence. So. I think where we won the game was basically we outcompleted them in the second half, which I don't know whether any other team's done that this year, but on them. But they probably weren't as diligent there, I suppose, in the second half. They must have had a few more errors. But like I say, at the end, we were lucky to get away with it. But having said that, I didn't think we'd done a whole heap wrong. I think some of our defence was out a little bit at times, but like I say, you have to give a lot of credit, to the Bulldogs and how they played and how energetic they were, and they had a really good first half.
As you sort of said there, they were pretty good in the attack, but were you a bit disappointed in the first half with those two tries, because it seemed like they drew the defence out a little bit?
Oh yeah, without doubt. We were probably lacked a little bit of patience, especially in the second one. So again, they're things that we don't like happening to us, to be quite honest. But having said that, we there's a couple of things our right side need to improve on, and we need to get that sorted.
Is that something you tinker with on the training track, or is it something you persist with and let them work it out?
No, we'll have a look at it on the training track, but basically, they'll be the ones that'll work it out. We'll probably give them a couple of little tips, but at the end of the day, they've got to do it. So we've got enough experience there. I know there's mostly on the young blokes, but we've got Sully there's been playing plenty of time and with plenty of years, and Felice's an Origin player. The other two are only younger, but having said that, Curtis has played in the grand final. Well, he's played in 2 grand finals, so. There's no excuse that they can't sort of work together there and make sure we get a little bit more cohesive, I suppose, with our defence on that edge.
You expect to replay Jerome's tackles? Those 2 try savers were pretty pivotal in such a game.
Yeah, I know we need to show them, but they were great tackles. That second one, he just put his body right on the line. Lachlan Bailey, he was real. We thought he'd be hard to handle, but he was harder to handle than what we thought he was. And he put a couple of dents in us, big dents in us. A few times. I think he had 3 of them, and besides, he would have made meters on his other run. So, but I just thought he showed a lot of courage. Hughesy, to get in front and actually hit him hard in the legs too, not just fall in the tackle. He went in hard, and he got a bad head knock last week, and he's still had half his eye, still half closed. So it was a brave effort from him today, and to come up with those couple of tackles, it was a real brave effort.
Did you have to give him
Sorry.
What do those moments do, I guess, for the team to see someone do that?
Oh, you think that you'd like to give the team a bit of a lift, and again. Sometimes it gives you a lift, but at the same time, because he's made a break, you're scrambling back and, just trying to not do any more damage. So I think they'll probably appreciate it a little bit more so after than the actual moment.
Craig, you're now 4 and zip to start the season. I mean, you're the only unbeaten team in the competition. I mean, obviously, it's only early days, but what does it sort of mean, this start that you've had?
It means we're undefeated. I'm not quite sure. At the end of the day, everyone says at the start of the year, what's your expectations? And as I keep saying every year, the expectations for us is to be ready for round 1, and then we take a week at a time. I know there's been a lot of critics or experts, whichever way you like to describe them, saying that because Billy went and Ryan Hoffman and Tim Glasby, we lost a lot of experience there, and we did, without a doubt. that it was going to be a real tough year for us, and they still might be proven to be right. I don't know, but we've got off to a good start, and we just want to, make sure that we continue to do the things we're doing well. But there's some areas that we want to improve as well, which is the same as any team. So, like I say, it's still like you say, it's still early, but we're obviously reasonably happy with what we've done so far.
Did you have to give the boys a big rev up at half time, Craig, or are you confident they were always, going to fight back and get over the line?
Yeah, it was more discussion, I suppose. There was a couple of little points I made quite strongly, I suppose, but other than that, it was I think they basically knew what we had to do. Was just that we just had to do it a little bit better than what we were doing in the first half.
You spoke about the completion rate being better in the second half, but what did you make of the way the guys sort of took their chances, particularly sort of when you're chasing a lead like that?
Yeah, well, again, you just can't go chasing willy-nilly when you get behind, So I suppose, a real important part of that was just keeping our cool and trying to stick with what was working for us, And you have a look at the first half, like I'm sitting up there and I imagine a lot of the Storm supporters were thinking, geez, what have we got to do here to score a try? They defended unbelievably well, like I know many times we were sort of pulled down, right on the try line, with bodies in, and then I think young Lewis, he must have made 2 or 3 really good one-on-ones on that edge on Foose, I think, so it was just looking like it wasn't your day. They're going to find ways of stopping it, and to their credit, they worked incredibly hard there. So for us to keep hanging in and believing in what we want to do, I think that is a good sign for us. But like I say, you can't take anything away from how they defended, especially in the first half. They just scrambled on everything.
It must be nice to have some size like Tui coming off the bench. I mean, it was his first try. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, he's done a terrific job for us this year. He's played, the 4 games already. I think that just about doubles his all-time NRL games. So, I thought, probably against the Raiders, he probably struggled a little bit up there, but I think, he might have been a little bit flat after his, his first game. I thought he was tremendous against the Broncos here. And I think, he's done a tremendous job, the last couple of weeks. Again, hopefully, as we go along, he'll be able to play, more minutes. And but there's some things that we want Tui to do, and that he probably hasn't been used to doing. But he's making really good progress there, and not only has he turned to a guy that is strong with the footy, but he's also doing a lot of little things as well, which is really important, for his teammates.
Craig, are you hoping to have Josh back for Townsville, or is it just a wait and see throughout the week?
Yeah, it'd be a wait and see. I'm not quite sure. I tried to ring him this morning. I couldn't get hold of him. So like I say, we'll check that through, throughout the week. He obviously had it was a tough week for him. Tough week this week, and the tough weekend for him. So to actually travel to Townsville, a 5-day turnaround. Might be a little bit too much for him. I'm not quite sure, but we'll check him out. But I imagine obviously it's a real family thing, and it's something that no family wants to go through. But they're hanging in there, and hopefully Wally recovers and comes good. So we're all obviously thinking of Josh and his family, and hopefully it all works out.
A 5-day turnaround you mentioned, what sort of challenge is that? I mean, it's the first one I guess you've had this season.
Yeah, we've had 8-day turnaround, so it's been like being on holidays the first month, where we've got really extra time to recover for the next game. So this is going to test us out a bit, especially going to North Queensland, where it's obviously going to be a touch warmer up there. So, but we'll have a plan, and we'll stick to that plan, and hopefully it works out okay for us.
Did Cam's record come into any discussions or any thoughts or?
Nah, like as I said, during the week and before the game, we were aware of it early in the week. It was mentioned at probably our first team meeting, but then it was put to bed. At the end of the day, we didn't want to, have the mentality that we're going to got to go out there and score so many tries so Cameron can kick those goals. He don't score many tries these days, so he's relying on goals. So, like I say, that just puts extra pressure on the team that you don't need. So it wasn't mentioned at all. Unfortunately, I think he's pulled up 2 or 3 short or whatever. But that would have been nice if it had happened. But at the end of the day, hopefully it'll happen the next week or two, and it'll be nice then as well.
Is everyone okay injury-wise?
Yeah, I think a couple of our guys looked like they cramped up a little bit. But other than that, I think we were pretty good. Like I say, I don't think there's anything major there. But having said that, it'll be dependent on how some wake up in the morning. It's only a 5-day turnaround and long travel. So there's often a time when you wake up after a game and you just can't quite get up for the 5 days. So we'll check that out. But we've got some players at the moment that haven't played much first grade, haven't played first grade at all, that are playing really well with our feeder teams. Our 2 feeder teams in Queensland have been underfeeded as well. So we've got some players up there that are playing really well. It's certainly another step up to play NRL, but we're very confident in those players playing well up there. If we have to use them on Friday, we've got no problem with that. Okay, thanks guys. Ta.